We are really privileged and delighted to have Stefan Israel and tell us his story. Stefan, welcome. Good to see you here.
Good to see you.
Could you tell us a little bit about what Onspace is and what's relevant here?
Yes, so Onspace is a launch service provider. We are launching 3 rockets from the French Guiana, the Guiana Space Center, Ariane, which is our most famous rocket, but as well Vega with a light rocket, and Soyuz in a cooperation with Roscosmos, which is a Russian space agency. So we have 3 rockets under operations in the Guiana Space Center.
As a child, when you were 8, 10, 12 years of age, did you play with rockets? Did you, what was your image? What was your...
I should not say that I was a rocket scientist when I was a child, but what I can say is that as many children of my generation, I have seen on the screen the first launch of Ariane. This first launch was December 24, 1979. So it was for Christmas, and it was the first launch of Ariane from the Guiana Space Center. And I remember perfectly, I was 8 years old having seen this launch. And behind the launch there is a huge human story. You have a huge technological story, but it is something quite magic to have a rocket going to the sky, and I felt it very strongly. And after, when I was 30 years old, for my first job in administration, I had to monitor the Guiana Space Center. So I made a comeback to the Guiana Space Center. Enfin, it was my first time.
Ariane is a major player, and you almost have 50% of the market share in terms of space launches. How does that impact this conference and the people that you're engaging? What sort of feedback have you got?
It's very important, this kind of event here in Dubai today, because we have insurers, and our business has a lot of risks, so we need insurers to make it happen. We have satellite manufacturers, and they are definitely a strong partner for us. We have seen this morning at the panel SSL Loral, Boeing, and we have for sure customers. We have had lunch with Arabsat and Yasat, who are 2 key customers for Onspace. And it is this kind of event where we have the opportunity to exchange in depth, to have a personal relation, to speak about the future. So these kind of events are very important for us.
The 60s and the 70s, we were inspired by a generation of astronauts. A lot of that flattened out a little bit. What's exciting the young people of today, and what role is Ariane and yourself playing in that?
I think you will have 2 big trends. You will have a trend which is deep exploration and the willingness to go always further in space with a final destination which could be Mars. So this is a trend. But in Onspace, we prefer to go to another trend, which is to have more and more satellites giving always better services here on Earth. And for us, the new frontier is the following. We want satellites to give full connectivity to all the mankind and to all the billion of people here living on Earth. We know that if we stick to terrestrial solutions, it will never happen because it's far too expensive to give internet access to a village in Africa, a village in India, or in many other places in the world. We will need satellites to make it happen and to have all mankind access to internet. And this for us is very exciting, very stimulating, because what we want is space being useful to human beings here down on Earth, and this is exactly our ambition.
In 10, 20 years' time, when we look up into the sky and see what's going on up there, what do we see?
I hope we will see the light of the sky at night, because it's always a fascinating show, but we will see more and more ways to connect people to internet, maybe thanks to drones, maybe thanks to balloons, but we know that satellites will be part of the solution. There will be an increased demand for connectivity, because what is happening today, you have the north and the west, which needs not one connection, but 2, 3, 4 connection per people, and you have the east and the south with entering into connectivity. So you will have a mix of terrestrial solutions, maybe drone and balloons, but definitely satellites, and our ambition is to launch these satellites.
And if you project ourselves into the future, say 25 years from now, what is your dream? And what will you be telling your children?
So in 25 years' time, it will be
2040?
Yes, 2040. I hope that thanks to the satellites we have launched, that 7 billion people will have access to internet, and that I will be able to say to my children, to my friends, this is a journey I have participated in, and this has been my contribution to mankind.
Stefan, real pleasure indeed. Thank you for your time. Really appreciate it.